teaching? Have you stressed? Need to laugh off that disaster of a parent-teacher conference? Ready to indulge in those I wish I could say that moments? You're in luck, because you've just pressed play on the top-rated teacher comedy podcast on the planet. It's time for Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Here's your host, the teacher comedian himself, Devin Siebold.
Hey-o, how's everybody doing? We're live on Facebook and YouTube, and good old Greg, the angry Texan parrot, said he was turning off his phone, did not. Same way on the golf course, by the way. He decides to ruin every single thing that has ever, his phone is always on as loud as freaking possible. Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. This is a live broadcast recording. We're just recording an episode of Crying in My Car. If you've never tuned in before, it is a podcast for teachers. Hundreds of episodes online. Also, extra bonus episodes on the Patreon, patreon.com/cryinginmycar. You get all the tour updates on there, and I hand out free tickets to shows. I just hooked somebody up with tickets yesterday that's on Patreon. It's $2.99 a month. They got $60 tickets. So it's a pretty good deal. And in the past, I've sent out a lot of giveaways, done some Zoom live shows exclusive to Patreon members. And also you get my videos in advance. So that's pretty cool, too. The videos get to show up in advance. And lastly, and probably the most important thing, is the Zoom shows that we do, the Zoom comedy shows. I've given free tickets to them, too. So, you know, if I do one Zoom show a month and you get a free ticket, it's $10 for that ticket. You're paying $2.99. Not a bad deal. Also, you can sign up for the full year, so not bad. Yeah, it's the teacher dude. I'm online live too, and so we've got YouTube feedback coming in, Facebook feedback coming in. Like I said, I've got Greg, the angry Texan parrot. We're both exhausted. Yesterday was probably the most exhausting time that I've had in forever performing. Oh my goodness. It was absolute nightmare. And thanks, Zach, for the stars, by the way. Over on Facebook, you can send stars, and YouTube, you can send super chats, I believe. I don't know how that works, to be honest with you, if you want to support the podcast or our comedy. Now, yesterday, I performed at Side Splitters. Now, Side Splitters has one show Thursday, one show Sunday, two shows Friday, and then the infamous 3-show Saturdays. You do not have many clubs in the country that can do 3 shows on a Saturday and actually pack them out. Now, Joe was the first 2 shows, Mr. D, and then I was the last show headlining it. So we began the first show at 5:30 p.m. My show started at 11 p.m.
I thought it was
5.5 hours. It started late because Joe was taking forever with the meet and greets, which no big deal. You know, he's got his fans. So
did he open?
Cheryl, thanks for coming to the show last night. Cheryl came to the show. Thanks for the stars, Amy. So yeah, he did not open for me the last show. I had a lot of guests, like special friends that were there. Not you. And I'm just kidding. You could have came out, man.
I know, man, but you got to think, dude. Restaurant manager, Saturday night. One of the bigger bands in the area was playing.
What you do, bro, you call me and I come by and I take a picture of myself walking through your restaurant with dropping fake cockroaches all over the place. Then I call the health department. They shut you down at 7. You're on stage at 9:30. I'm telling you, it's a foolproof plan. You may never open back up, but but anyways, it was great. It was phenomenal. The shows were electric. Now I was so worried because I have done Side Splitters 3 shows Saturdays for years. And I'm always exhausted. And these first 2 shows with Joe just took so much out of me, man, because it was not only performing, it was the meeting of people, the talking, selling merch, taking pictures. People were, hey, I love you, man. I love all your stuff. This is so awesome to meet you. Like cool fans, great people that I met. Everybody that I met was awesome, by the way. And then, I'm like, just tanking, and they're like, okay, your show's starting, and I've got like 45 minutes to an hour that I got to fill. At the end of this show, I've got to watch other comics go up, and I don't take the stage until like 11:30. I mean, my show's not ending till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And man, oh man, I want to give a shout out to each and every person that came to that 11 o'clock show, because it was the most electric room that I have performed at in forever, bro. They were on fire. I mean, I did not want to leave that stage. I got the light and I was about to just wave it off, rookie of the year, no, the fastball. I want the fastball, and man, it was awesome. It was awesome. They were great people. And yeah, it was amazing. Can I not put politics in my videos? I don't put politics in my videos, Tim. All my videos are political free. Usually, I try to run the line.
I mean, unless it's like a bill that's for teachers' benefits or something. That's really
I just talk about stuff that's on the table for teachers.
That's about it.
Today, I'm going to talk about Hong Kong because it's in Wall Street Journal front page about teachers. That's about it. Anyways, so yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Electric, tons of merchandise sold, tons of people met, tons of entertaining. I mean, just laughter beginning to end. Joe was great. Hanging out with Jeff was great. I got amazing video, by the way. The shows were videoed. But it was so funny because so we did 2 shows Friday, and Joe hired a guy, a friend of ours, Jeff Klein, to come out and do the video for the shows.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I love Jeff.
And Jeff goes, hey man, for a little bit of money, I'll video your sets too. And I was like, yeah, done. I was like, sold out crowds. I'd love to get this video. So he videoed the first 2 sets on Friday. Well, he comes up to me right when I get there Saturday, and he goes, "Hey, man," he goes, I can only really do 1 set tonight because I tried to do the full 2 shows yesterday, and he's like, it just kills the battery. He said, luckily, I got everybody set in. He said, but I had like a minute left on my battery when Joe left the stage. And I was like, oh, yeah, no worries. I said, just if you can get the first set, great. I'm going to be doing, some newer material, and I'd really love to have some of this on tape. And so we did the first set and everything. And then the second show comes up. I haven't been talking to him or anything like that. And second show, I just crushed. I mean, knocked it out of the park. And I get off stage and I go up to Jeff and I go, I think that was the best set of my life. I'm stoked that we recorded this. I cannot imagine the work I will get from this video. And he's just looking at me like, dude, I told you I couldn't record the second one. And I just played into it. I was like, I really can't. Can you send that to me tonight? I would love to edit that right this moment. It was probably the best set of my life. And he's like, I didn't record it. And I was like, oh yeah. Tim, I'm so sorry, but if you think it's a woman's profession is political, then go away. I'm not trying to be. I'm reading your comment. I don't put politics on my videos. DeVos. Well, Betsy DeVos was literally the head of education. Republicans, it's a woman's profession. Where did I mention ever Republicans in my videos? And it's a woman's profession. Exactly what it is. A woman's profession. There's no lies there. Yeah. Greg's Republican. I don't know.
Yeah.
My openers are Republican. I don't. Yeah. I can't. I'm not going to argue with you.
Mike Lay's Republican.
It's 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm not going to argue online with
Have you finished your coffee yet?
Please, no, I have not.
Oh, I finished mine. That's why I'm zen right now.
Which, by the way, if you want, let me get into an argument that I will get into. This is a Dunkin Donuts coffee. I posted on my TikTok yesterday a video that I did not anticipate to get over 100,000 views in 2 hours. But apparently I have ignited a firestorm, and people are livid not only at me, but also Dunkin Donuts. So here's the thing. I posted this online, and let me grab it. So I noticed something when I went to Dunkin', and I don't want to, hold on, let me see. I'll make sure I'm not going to spill water all over my computer. So here's the deal. I noticed this when I went to Dunkin' Donuts, and this is not a lie. So I posted on my TikTok, and people are mad at me because I didn't put enough scientific research into it. But this is a large cup at Dunkin' Donuts. And if you're not watching the video and you're listening to the podcast, just know that a regular Dunkin' Donuts cup has the typical edge around the bottom of like a quarter of an inch, maybe half an inch there, the bottom of the cup. And I put a line, I kind of emphasized it around the cup where the bottom of the Dunkin' Donuts large cup is. This is a Dunkin' Donuts extra large cup. That is where the bottom of the extra large cup starts. Greg, look at the bottom of there. Put your finger there. No,
buddy. I can see it right now, and I'm getting mad. That's why I don't even go to Dunkin'.
There's literally like a half a mile before the bottom of the actual cup starts. on the extra large cup. And I posted on TikTok. I was like, Dunkin, I was like, what is going on? And people chimed in livid. They were like, Dunkin, what say you? Like people are tagging them.
Dude,
get in here and answer for this.
I didn't get to see that video yet. It's on my watch list. Dude, I am livid now.
That's the bottom of the cup. Now, some people were saying that it's for like sturdiness, but I've had cups of coffee this way.
Yeah, dude, Richard's Coffee downtown does not do that to you. Richard's Fine Coffee, Winter Haven, Florida, does not do that to you. He will not do that to you. You went to crappy, dude. All their donuts are frozen and thawed. They don't make donuts. Really? They don't make donuts there. Argue with me, somebody. Tell me there's really a guy that gets there at 4 a.m. still and says time to make the donuts like the old days and gets his fat butt in there and makes them donuts. No, they do not. They thaw them out and microwave them.
Tim's
bull crap.
Tim's still arguing with me online, but that's okay, Tim. I'm going to be honest with you, Tim. I want to argue with you, but you have a profile picture of Beavis and Butthead, and I think you're a pretty cool dude. I think you're a pretty cool guy. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Tim, I'll challenge you to a drinking contest, buddy. Shot for shot, because I can drink whiskey because it's diabetic.
And let me just answer Tim, because he said he hasn't heard anything about the current education secretary. You're right. But I have, if you do go back in my videos, criticized his current administration, because I said that Joe Biden is obviously a teacher and Joe is supposed to be for the teachers. And we have not seen action on their front yet for teachers. And I've been like, where is she? What is she doing? I have been critical and trying to go, hey, it was kind of cool to get a teacher in the White House, but what now? That is something that I said maybe 3-4 months ago, and it was on this podcast, and I was criticizing the current administration. So maybe I did play politics, but I also played the other side of the politics and said, hey, I want. But anyways,
he played tennis
last time. Sorry. So yeah, the both sizes thing. So here's the thing, and people are asking. I'm not going to do this on Facebook Live, but this is what people were mad at me about on TikTok, is I did not pour one into the other. So I did. I filled them up right before this started, and I poured one into the other, and you do get a little more in here. Now, here's the thing. This is supposed to be 20 ounces. This is supposed to be 24 ounces. So technically, there's supposed to be about 20% more in here than in here. Not true. I will tell you that right now. I can pour this one into this one and be left with maybe an extra ounce of liquid. You're paying the extra like 60 cents or whatever it is for an extra ounce. You're being lied to. This is not 24 ounces. I will go to war with it. It's not 24 ounces, especially with the bottom up there. If the bottom is down here, you might get.
Well, you know what? I think that this calls for a class action lawsuit.
You know what else though? This is the definition of insanity. Doing something over and over again, expecting a different result. Good morning. This is my Dunkin Donuts extra large coffee that I just bought. I posted the video yesterday complaining about it and went through the drive-thru and was like, can I have an extra large coffee, please? It was delightful yesterday. Yes, please hold the extra 3 ounces. I would rather not have them today.
Dude, you texted me and asked me if I would like a Dunkin Donuts coffee while I had the top down in my convertible Mustang listening to Winger.
Right.
And I said, no, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm still drinking Dunkin. I'll be honest with you, though. I like Dunkin coffee. I really do. I do not like Starbucks coffee. It's too bitter. It doesn't taste right. People say Starbucks tastes great, and I think you're just there for the points. You're just there for the status, the Starbucks logo on the side of your cup to feel like you're somebody. You feel like you're I think it's a weird thing, but people pay more money. People pay more money for the same thing just to pay more money and feel like they're getting a better product.
Right.
Do you realize this? And this is true. And I'm going to tell you this real quick, Greg. And I've told this to other comics, and I didn't believe them at first. Saying that people should pay you more makes people want to pay you more. And what I mean by that is when I first started doing comedy, I was on this website called Gig Salad or Gig Masters. There's 2 of them. And you can basically post your profile and people can hire you for like birthday parties, corporate events. You're essentially a freelancing comedian.
Oh, our buddy, like Zenith.
Yeah. Now I've done some great gigs for them. I've actually worked. I just booked a wedding for a fellow teacher fan, by the way. She's getting married, wants me to perform there. I booked her from Gig Masters, one of them. Anyways, what I'm getting at is when I first started doing it, I was like, what do I charge people for my services? I was like, $300, $200. And that's with travel. Like wherever you are, I'll come to you for $200. And I posted that. and I got nothing. Nobody hired me. And then James John, love the guy, amazing comedian, hosted the Lowdown on Afro. If you have Comcast, check it out. Funniest guy in the world, love him to death. He said, "You're quoting yourself too low. If you quote yourself high, people will book you more because they want to pay more because they think they're getting a better product. Even if it's the exact same product, they want to pay more because they're like, oh, I'm paying all this. I must be getting this." And they're getting a great product and they're getting their value out of it. But he's like, you quote yourself low and people think you're a low value comic. It's a weird thing, but like you could literally have, a diamond in one hand and a diamond in the other, and one is noticeably larger. And you go, this one is $500. This one is $4,000. And the people will go, I'll take the smaller one that's $4,000 without asking questions, thinking that it's just because it's priced higher, it must have better value. Bro, I got booked immediately at like $1,000 for this, for gigs for like corporate stuff. And I hadn't gotten any booked. And as soon as I jacked up my prices, people were like, oh, he's great. We'll get him. And I was like, it's the same profile, same everything. But people, for some reason, have this mindset. It's the Starbucks mindset of I feel better when I feel like I'm getting a better product because I'm paying $5 for it. You're not getting a better product with Starbucks coffee. I'm sorry. You're just not. I don't know. But
Glitter Hoof on YouTube just commented, what teacher can afford Starbucks on the daily?
You're right. You know what we can't afford? The only thing that we can afford is the Panera subscription. Have you seen they got a subscription?
No.
Have you known? Did you know that? It's $8 a month, unlimited coffee. You just have a card.
Yeah, but I've tasted Panera.
It's terrible.
Dude,
it's so bad.
I mean, I'd rather drink cat pee at that point, man. I'm telling you, dude, they're Panera is just stupid. If they finally put a tea in it, it might start being awesome. But it's not.
Oh, I love tea though. I love hot tea. If they had an unlimited $8.99 hot tea, I would be in there. But the unlimited Panera bread coffee is terrible. The worst coffee I ever had in my entire life is 7-Eleven coffee. It is disgusting. Dude, I went in there and I was like, oh man, I really want some coffee right now. I was in 7-Eleven. And I went back and they had the fresh, this is the biggest scam I've ever seen, by the way.
Arabica.
Have you seen the ones where they actually grind it right there?
No.
So Racetrack and 7-Elevens have upgraded.
Oh, I've seen the one at Racetrack.
But Racetrack one is pretty legit. Wawa is legit too. Yeah, Wawa has a good coffee cake. That's right. But the 7-Eleven one I knew would be bad because I put my cup under there and I hit, brew. And I was like thinking to myself when I first hit brew, I was like, man, if everybody gets a fresh brewed coffee in the morning, this must take forever. People must be waiting over here forever. No, it goes, and just water like starts instantly pouring out. And I can see through it. I can see through the water that is coming out. Bro, it's the biggest scam I've ever seen. They literally drop a little bit of fresh grounds into a thing, and then the water comes in, and there's no way it has time to do anything with the actual grounds in there. And it just you're getting the residue off of this coffee beans is all you're getting. You're getting coffee residue water. You're not getting coffee.
Well, that's what coffee is. It's filtered. It's hot water through coffee.
Bro, it goes through so quick. I had a full cup of coffee ground to brewed in 20 seconds. That's not coffee.
Yeah, I think that kind of defies the physics of
that's what I was saying. That's the physics part that I was going, okay, well, if it was actually like sitting in there, taking its time to go through a filter and all this other stuff, but it's not.
Like my Keurig, like I'll start it and then I'll go in the bedroom and kind of do my stuff, getting ready and stuff. And by the time I come out, my coffee's hot. I'm ready to doctor it up.
Yeah, I know. And I know this is Crying in My Car podcast for teachers. And you're like, when are they going to start talking about teacher stuff? I'm sorry. Coffee is all teachers. Like coffee is a science for teachers. I had a Keurig in my room. I used to brew fresh brew coffee, and my students knew. I would walk in, and they did not ask me questions. They did not ask me for homework. They did not ask to go somewhere, do anything, go to the restroom until they heard, and I was like, just drinking it in the back, and then I was like, okay. We can begin. It was like instant.
Mr. Seabold, is it?
Nope.
You put your hand up like, do not talk.
Like new students to the class, but man, that was great. And did you ever do so you have a Keurig, but I know what you don't have. And I try to be environmentally friendly, but the one thing that I got that I never could get to work right, and maybe I'm just doing it wrong, was the Keurig reusables.
Oh yeah, I got one of them.
You got one where you put grounds in it?
I get Richard's Coffee, downtown Winter Haven, Florida.
But the
look
grounds
it up online.
Good.
He'll mail it to you. It's good stuff.
The grounds are good, but I just can never get the reusable one to taste good. Like I would always have little.
I just got to pack it in there a little bit. You got to use your thumb, pack it down just a little bit. It's good. Mine's got like a micro screen. I got two. See,
but I always felt so bad throwing away a little plastic cup every single time.
Well, it's not a plastic cup. It's like a basket.
No, but I meant the ones that we would just disposable.
Oh yeah.
I always felt terrible because they're like I saw the numbers one time on these disposables and it was like outrageous. Like it's something like a million pounds of trash a day is just Keurig K-cups or something.
Oh, awesome!
Like it'd be nice if we had something to do with. I know that some teachers, and this is maybe a project. If you're listening, this is a really cool project. If you have teachers that have K-cups and Keurigs in the school, have a little box out for them and just have them throw them all in there. And throughout the week, just any of they can have, pile them up in the room. Like, hey, at the end of the week, I've got 6 K-cup empty ones already used. And then at the end of the month, have students get together and cut them open and pour all the grinds out and use it for, fertilizer that they've done before. Some people, I don't know if it's a thing, but some people use coffee grinds for like,
if you get a bee sting and stuff, you're supposed to be able
bee
to
sting, really?
Well, that and snuff.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. But I know the grinds themselves have uses, and I've cut open a K-cup, and there's a lot of coffee grinds in there, a lot of them, and it's impressive. It's amazing how much there is. So, yeah. But
I got Chaos Kintari. Put a finer grind in your reusables and your golden.
Yeah, I saw that. I might have to do that. Yeah, because I think I'm using the wrong one. And I see great like grinds, and TJ Maxx has amazing coffees. No, people discount them, but like all the weird flavors go there. And I'm a flavor guy.
I go to Ross and I get all my syrups there. They're all sugar free. Yep. All of my dietary stuff is at Ross.
Yeah, Ross and TJ Maxx and Marshalls have really good seasonings, really good coffee, really good teas. Like they just have like a weird, like one aisle of like kitchen stuff, but the edible things, and it's always got unusual things I haven't seen before. And some of it's terrible. I had a pumpkin spice K-cup box that I bought from TJ Maxx, and it almost made me quit going to TJ Maxx. Almost. I still go there.
Dude, I got $500 worth of golf shirts that I got for less than $80.
I got a Callaway shirt for like $10.
Dude, Ross also. Here's the thing for teachers too, and I got to throw it out. Go to Ross to try to find some of your stuff that you might need. It's just, it's a shot in the dark, but you can find like stuff you're like, oh my God, I could use that in my classroom. Always go to Ross, go to TJ Maxx, go to Marshalls, go to these places. Do not go to the straight up thrift shops. There's always something, supplies and stuff that you can find. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal.
Danielle online says, I make fossil dough with coffee grinds for my dino theme. I don't know what that is, but that sounds like really cool. So I don't know if you can post a picture of that or describe it a little more, but fossil dough with coffee grinds. Any way to reuse stuff. I know teachers are some of the most, recycling people on the planet. And it's out of necessity because we literally have, when we get supplies, we know we will not be getting supplies for the next 10 years. Like that's it. Man,
and this is a good opportunity. Now we're on a discussion, about reusable this, that, and the other, and coffee. Every year growing up in school, I remember we used to do soil conservation and stuff because I'm Texas rural, communities and stuff. But it really should be always thrown up there like, hey, new generation. It's up to you. We're screwing up, and every year we pass it on, but we've got to just keep teaching. Hey, do the right thing, recycle. I have a recycling bin. I fill that thing up every day because it's there. It came with the house. I got like 3 blue bins. Apparently who lived there before me was very environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
So now, I'm kind of into it. I mean, I'm trying to separate my trash a little bit more, and that's fine.
But this is the thing, though, and I don't know if people can agree with this, but I've seen stuff on YouTube where apparently the recycling all just goes to trash. Like America's recycling everything, and like 90% of it literally goes to a outside company to ship it off overseas, and it literally goes to their dump. Like none of it's getting recycled. I may be wrong, but yeah. And Steve online says Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, only place I buy clothing. Amazon for all my best t-shirts. I got this t-shirt at the dollar store for $1. Okay, did, but I buy. I need to really step it up though. I'm not gonna lie. So people have made fun of me for like the clothing that I wear on stage and stuff because I just never really cared. Like I'm very much in the Zuckerberg corner when it comes to wearing the same thing. I don't care.
I defeated Zuckerberg last night.
Well, hold on. So I really don't care. I love wearing the same thing. If I like a t-shirt, I'll wear that t-shirt every day. It does not bother me at all. And I finally stepped it up. I've started to wear nicer stuff on stage and like kind of try to look fancier and more. And yeah, I mean, I guess it looks better for the photos and the video. I don't look like such a slouch, but it's funny if you watch some of my old videos, I'm literally on stage in like a DuckTales t-shirt and jeans and backwards hat. But I don't know. I just get a nice shirt and I'm like, there it is. But I have one small problem that other people don't have. I'm 6'6". Shirts that don't look like halter tops on me are very hard to come by. And normally if I find a good shirt, the first test comes when I wash it. I will wash a shirt, and if it shrinks even a little bit, I might not be able to wear it. I literally have like 4 or 5 shirts in my closet that I wore one time, washed it, and it shrunk to a point that I cannot physically wear it. I have to get the extra long shirts because they shrink, and man, my torso is so long that I have to get the long shirts.
You remember a couple of years ago, it was like 6 years ago. I did laundry at your place, and somehow one of your t-shirts got in my laundry, and it's a white t-shirt, and I'm getting ready for work. I'm like, well, let me put my undershirt on, and it went down to my knees. I was like, this is nice. And so at the time,
that's your 90.
And at the time, I didn't, I guess I didn't use it or whatever, and I just kept it. And then like I would have like a Angelina to stay over, or whatever, and then that shirt would be an option as a muumuu, to sleep in.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to get back to you, like, nah, I've got a bunch of those. And I was like, gosh, man. I
just buy a bunch of the same. If I find a shirt that fits me, I will run back there. Like there was a time when Dillard's, all their like big and talls fit me perfectly. And I think I bought out half their store because I was like, this is the only stuff I can find. Anytime I find one that fits me, I'm like that about Disney shirts. Disney shirts, as much as they're from Disney, they are so different. And this is a very weird thing, but like you can go to Disney, there'll be a wall of t-shirts, pick up one XL shirt and another XL shirt, hold them side by side, and they're completely different. You're like, these did not come from the same manufacturer at all. And so I have to like try them out. And I just bought a brand new shirt that has from Zootopia, the sloth, and it says live life slow. And I love it. It's a badass shirt. Sorry for cussing, but it's awesome shirt. And it doesn't fit. Like I have to I'll give it to you. It does not fit me.
I don't know if sloths are angry enough.
No, it's trust me, it's a good shirt.
Yeah. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the angry 5th grade teachers of Polk County.
They came to the show. They had a great time.
Dude, and they're going to come to the next show that we're doing here in Winter Haven together.
Great.
And I just give a shout out to y'all. Y'all are very big supporters, and y'all have been turning so many people on to our show. Thank you so much for your support. And I love seeing y'all come up to the restaurant. Y'all are crazy. These girls are crazy.
All teachers are crazy.
They are amazing teachers, but man, they let loose. I've had to actually go over to their table inside the restaurant and be like, hey, can you hold it down? We have some kids and families here. They're kind of frightened by y'all right now.
Do you realize that into the second show, about 10 minutes in to the teacher's second show, one of the staff members of Side Splitters comes in with 4 bags of margarita mix because they ran out. Like
that's them, dude. That was them.
He's like, the teachers are just they're doing it, and they are in there downing. I mean, they were some very, very wasted people. Luckily, I mean, school does not start yet, but they were handling it like it was starting tomorrow, and they were drinking their night away.
And because of this, I finally in my life at the age of 43 want to apologize to all the teachers because I was the delinquent and all. I was a class clown. I'm sure that there were teachers that probably had alcohol in their desk, and as soon as I walked out of the class,
you were definitely in somebody's AA introduction. My name is Mr. Feldsmeer, and I am an alcoholic, and I taught the Angry Texan, and everybody else is like, him too. No, it's just literally like all your years of going through school.
That wasn't my nickname in high school.
Well, what was it?
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog, even worse.
Yeah, no, dude. It really was, dude. I know. It followed me to college, bro.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
All right, let's go into the teachers in the news.
From classrooms to chaos, we searched high and low for the craziest teacher stories this week. Here are your teachers in the news.
All right, teachers in the news. Love our Australian teachers. Got a little bit of a mashup between Australia and American. A teacher that was American teacher, went over to Australia to teach. A great idea, by the way, because they pay way more, way better schools. But she decided to go online and share some of the differences, culture shock, things she didn't know, and mainly use some of the words, things that she hadn't been aware of. Slip, slop, slap. You ever heard of slip, slop, slap? No, not that. Slip, slop, slap.
I don't know. I was just saying whatever.
No, not that. Slip, slop, slap. She'd never heard that slang term before. Apparently, it's used pretty heavily in Australia. Slip, slop, slap is actually talking about sunscreen. Is a result of a long-running health campaign where they said slip on a shirt, slap on the sunscreen, and slap on a hat. Slip, slop, slap. And trying to get people to, sunscreen up. And believe it or not, this is kind of weird, but skin cancer, big problem in Australia because it's so, like, the sun is so deadly there.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the whole continent's deadly.
Everybody, it was funny because I was looking for a shark attack guy. Like our Uber guy, he had like all these scars on his arm, and I was like, shark attack? And he's like, nah, mate. He's like, sun. I was like, oh. I said, go with the shark attack. I said, just tell me.
Seriously, it's like, oh, let me cool off in the Great Barrier Reef waters. Oh, no.
You got a better chance of dying from ozone than the actual sharks. Also said that interesting culture shock. Said that, what was the other one? Oh, it's Super Duper. Super Duper. You ever heard of that? Super Duper. Apparently the kids love them. It's a brand of frozen popsicles that is apparently a ubiquitous term. It's like calling tissue a Kleenex. You know how you say, hey, man, pass me a Kleenex?
Yeah.
Apparently, like, ice cream is just like Super Dupers. You know, hey, let's go get a Super Duper.
Yeah, they're different down there.
That's a little weird. And then Swimming Carnival. Swimming Carnival. Don't go there either, Greg. Swimming Carnival. Apparently, they have regular swimming competitions between schools and youth groups, and these are like big events in the UK, South Africa, Australia. They actually are called like swimming galas, and they are a big deal in Australia, these swimming events. So, like, you know, we may have, basketball tournaments 3-on-3. They have swimming galas. They love swimming over there. So I don't know. Interesting from an Australian teacher. I would like more input. Follow her online, by the way. It's KAYYWUERF. K Uwerf. I think that's how it is. Uwerful. And anyway, she's on TikTok and she does a lot of stuff about Australia teachers. And then the next one.
Ask her if she wants some coins.
The next one is pretty cool, bro. So there's a Bay Area math teacher who is a little older. He's 63, teaches math. He's a little white guy, and he is from Oakland, and he goes by the street name OG Mike Chaos, and he has a distinctive dance style, a mix between turfing and boogalooing, an improvisational style of dance developed in Oakland. And apparently he is all about funk-based soulful dance and turfing. And apparently he began turfing in 2004 when the kids that he taught would dance on the turf and battle it out in high schools, and became like into it. And so he's been into it for like the past 16, 17 years, and now is like a legit turfer, like a dancer. So I'm going to share this video. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, I want to show you what it looks like. But I'm
interested. I'm like, it sounds like breakdancing, but
it is kind of breakdancing, but it's also, you'll see what I mean by like the style that he has. So this is the style. It's I'm going to go ahead and do a full screen of it so you can see it. But OG Mike Chaos, this is what he does. He's the guy on the right, obviously. He's got some moves. And apparently, and he's like does some robotic stuff and things like that. Yeah, see?
Oh, he looks just like me whenever I'm dancing.
It's literally like straight out of Oakland 80s street dancing, turf wars, battling it back and forth in the streets with,
Dude, he's instantly my hero. That is the greatest
63.
dancing I've ever seen in my life. In fact, Angelina, you were talking about let's get some dancing lessons for our wedding. This should be how we should dance for our wedding dance. Angelina, if you're listening, I know you are. Please let me know what you think of this dance.
What's your what's your street name going to be? His name's OG Mike Chaos. That's interesting. OG, and you can find him on Instagram, by the way, OG Mike Chaos. But 63-year-old math teacher, street dancer, turf war. Turf, TURF, turf war. So that's what he's into. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
What would your street name be?
I don't know. I'll tell you what my old. Okay, so I'm gonna go by my old AIM name. Do you remember AIM, Instant Messenger?
Yeah, I do.
What did you have? What was your, tell me?
Mine was Metal Madness 77.
Metal Madness 77. Mine was Tall Guy 316. Dude,
I will stun you.
I'm going to go by my old AIM name. Shout out your AIM names, by the way. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah,
if you know the AIM names. But mine was Tall Guy 316. Now, this true story, by the way. True story. I actually on AIM when it was out. I became a big fan of Lil Wayne before Lil Wayne was Lil Wayne, if that makes sense.
He was smaller Wayne?
Yes, he was tiny Wayne, miniature Wayne. And anyways, I loved Lil Wayne. And this is 100% true story. I went on Instant Messenger after I had heard a mixtape with Lil Wayne, an early mixtape before he was anybody. And I was like, man, that guy is great. And I went online and it asked me my AIM name if I wanted to sign in under an AIM name, and I hadn't developed one yet. Tall Guy 316 did not exist, and I typed in Lil Lil Wayne LWAYNE Lil Wayne, and it was available. And I was Lil Wayne on Instant Messenger for like 2 months, and then he became Lil Wayne, joined the Hot Boys, and became like big. And Instant Messenger literally sent me an email, and they were like, "That's not yours anymore." So I couldn't use it. It was like,
I would sue AOL.
They just took it. They just literally took the handle.
No, man, that was yours. Dude,
yeah.
You could go back and sue them, dude. No, they're supposed to pay you. Lil Wayne owes you money now, dog.
Yeah, but then again, if I ever become big and somebody else has my Devin Seabold name on, something, I want to take it too. I don't want to have to pay anybody.
Dude, did you know that the actual musician Sting pays the wrestler Sting $1 per year
to use the name?
Yeah, here in America.
That's awesome.
That's really cool of him, right? Yeah.
Gummy Bear Chic. MN Green Eyes 87. That's fun. Kate Rules Rulz. Oh, boy, that's a scene name if I've ever seen it. But yeah, some of those are so funny. I just remember all the AIM names just being ridiculous. I remember my friend's Nike Mike 03. I remember that one. A lot of basketball themed ones, and Michael Jackson. I was a big Michael Jackson fan, and so a lot of Michael Jackson ones. All right, last. I got two more articles here. This is an interesting one, and I gotta say I'm curious about this. When I see big rich districts getting richer, I always wonder how these schools find teachers, because they're, especially public schools, they're not paying them more. And these areas are very hard to live in. Are people driving, further and further out just to teach in the rich schools? Because it says, this is the title of the article, a frenetic real estate market exacerbating teacher shortage in Montrose. So this is in Montrose, and they are having a big problem because the real estate market is pushing rent and homes higher, and people are able to move in, but it's pushing the teachers out. because, like, especially I'll give you a prime example. Where I live, I could not probably live there if I was just on my teacher salary. My neighbors, he was a teacher. When the rent went up big time where I live, he left. He's like, yeah, I got to get out of here. And he had to leave because that was his only job, teaching.
Yeah.
My income kind of adjusted because I was pushing comedy at the same time. So I was able to afford the difference. But I do wonder, like, because I was talking to a principal and she wants me to talk at her school. And I was like, yeah, I'll come talk at your school. She's like, okay, here's where I teach. And I'm not going to give the name of the district. She goes, yeah, it's a really nice district. She goes, you can't move into this county for less than $1 million. And I was thinking,
wow.
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, well, what about the teachers? Like, where do they live? And I know
across the tracks.
The sad part is I know places like, they're driving to work in those districts. But I mean, you got to wonder, though, if it's pushing other people out and then driving up real estate in those areas, how far out do teachers have to go? And then you got places like San Francisco, which is a nightmare, where they can't bus teachers in from outside. So they're actually building them affordable housing units. And what you're essentially getting is indentured servitude with labor work in return for cheap rent.
Right.
And the public school system in San Francisco, if these teachers are working for their rent, is no different than a factory in China building Walmart stuff that pays them $2 an hour and also gives them a place to live, and you can't quit your job or you lose your home. That's the thing that I worry about is, what's the next step? And even here, I don't know if you know this, but in Winter Haven, we actually have a teachers and public service only apartment complex. Did you know that?
Where's that at?
Right downtown. Literally, like, we can walk to it. Right behind the playground. And if you are a teacher, public service, police, firefighter, whatever, you can move in there and the rent is substantially lower. That's great, fine, but you can't move. Like we're not paying them anymore. And suddenly you're confined to a place that you may not be happy in, and your family may be growing. What if you have an extra child? You need another bedroom. You want to spread out. You want an office, something like that. I mean, I don't know.
It breaks my heart because I remember the apartments where you live.
Mm-hmm.
When I first moved down here, I had a buddy of mine named Nick that lived there, and I used to go over. And I was wanting to move in there because I lived in the crappy apartments across the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, dude, it's like I'm paying like $750 a month. I was like, man, that's affordable. I know what your rent is now. And I'm like, how in the hell did they get away with this?
My sister goes, hey, that old apartment complex you used to live in. She goes, I'm thinking about moving in there. Was it nice? I said, yeah, it was nice. And she goes, well, a 2-bedroom is $1,200. And I was like, oh, I lived in a 2-bedroom. It was $650. I said, it's doubled in less than 10 years.
I know, man.
Doubled.
That's why I bought a house. I'm like, if I'm going to pay this much in rent, by God, I might as well just own it.
Yeah. Well, you're paying a lot on mortgage now. I mean, that's still the thing. So
yeah. Thank you, Angelina.
But
it's a team effort.
But the question does remain, what do we do in these areas that need teachers that they're being priced out of the real estate? So what do we do? Do we offer them discounts? Maybe, and I hate to say this, but maybe tax subsidies for teachers to go, hey, at the end of the year, if you teach in the district you live and the average income is this percentage above your actual pay, we will give you a tax break of X amount of dollars. Does that make sense to you?
No, it should be this way, dude. It should be the apartment people get a tax break for the bigger tax break for the more teachers that they let come in and give them substantially cheaper rent.
Right.
Like, say the rent's $1,200 bucks.
No, see,
and it's like, hey, if you're a teacher, we'll let you move in here for $600 bucks.
But then they're confined to that place. That's what I'm saying. The tax
breaks
could be the freedom to move around.
Right. But at the same time, if all these apartment places do that, like, oh, hey, this guy's not a teacher, so he has to pay $1,200. You're a teacher, you can move in any apartment complex, in all the apartment complexes or places to live. Get a tax break. They get X amount of tax break for every teacher they let move in.
Right.
That would be the freedom. That would be the draw. Like, hey, teachers, come here. We're on the teacher apartment incentive program.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah. Steve says districts are purchasing land, building affordable housing communities, mostly out west. It's happening. In Alaska, they actually fly teachers to schools. That's awesome. I will teach in Alaska if you come grab me and fly me to Alaska. Yeah. I'll do it. That's kind of neat, you know. But the reason they fly them to schools in Alaska is because if they drove to school, they would be attacked by 7 grizzly bears on the way, you know.
It'd be like ice road teachers.
Yeah, I had to fight a narwhal. I had to fight an actual narwhal on the street today. But all right.
Here we go. People who, this is from Bobby Blowfish. That's kind of cool.
They should pay less taxes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, we did at one point. We did have a $250 credit that we could apply to our tax break, saying that it was basically for stuff that we purchased. So we had to, technically, they could have audited you and said, "Where's your receipts on things you purchased?" But it was a $250 teacher tax credit that we said, "Okay, we bought at $250 worth of stuff."
Right.
Now, most teachers spent exponentially more than that. But then also that tax credit, I and correct me if I'm wrong, it went away under the Trump era.
Right.
And
it did.
And just got rid of it. Now, you know, we were supposed to get tax breaks elsewhere, this and that. But, you know, that was something that teachers really enjoyed and thought it was kind of a luxury, you know. And there was also a time in Florida, and this is where
that politics, Steve, you're right on this, because we did bash DeSantis for the whole $1,000 whatever.
Oh yeah, for Florida.
Yeah, but we were just bashing that, not necessarily him for being a dick about it.
I'm just going over the stuff that.
Sorry,
I'm just going over the stuff that is happening. So in Florida, we used to for years get a check as teachers in the like September, and it was to pay for stuff in our classroom. It was like $300. And it was like I forget the word. I don't know why I'm missing out the word that they had for it. But anyways, you would get a check and you would use it to cover stuff that you needed. Well, then they switched over to Class Wallet. Class Wallet is a private company owned by a former guy who ran eBay and PayPal, and essentially it's high-priced items. You can go in there and they give you a credit, and you go in there and buy it. And by the way, I've purchased stuff that never came before. I've purchased things that for some reason were not allowed. A pencil sharpener I bought. If you've seen my old video, true story, bought a pencil sharpener, electric one. They said it wasn't allowed because it was furniture. I wanted to just strangle somebody. They said it was furniture, and I had to pay it back out of my. By the way, this is where I got angry. Not only did they take it out of my paycheck, they took the money from the pencil sharpener out of my paycheck and said I was not allowed to buy it. They took it out of my paycheck. I said, great. Do I get the money back into my Class Wallet account? No, I don't. I lost out on the $60 that was originally for the big electric pencil sharpener that I bought for my classroom. So I got the pencil sharpener that I paid for and then lost out on the $60 on my Class Wallet account. They did not refund it. They would not put it in there. So literally they got paid twice. And when that happened, it took everything within my soul not to yell at the person in the email, because I knew it wasn't their fault. It was a statute. It was a something that was put into this legislation that I was not a fan of. And that's where, and you're exactly right. Steve goes, you're telling me they privatized a tax incentive? No. Yes, that is exactly what they always do. This was something that was going directly to the teachers. It was there for us to cover our expenses. And then suddenly it's given off to a private company. And by the way, that private company, people will go, well, you can still buy it on your own and they'll just refund you. Yes, with $1 surplus charge. So $1 fee. So they're still collecting some of your money. I don't give a darn if it's 50 cents, 25 cents, $1 or $5. You're still taking money that's supposed to be for my stuff. And you're taking that $1 and putting it into a private firm's account when that $1 could have bought a pack of pencils for my students for a class. You know, that's where the anger lies.
No. I'm getting pissed hearing more about this. Keep going. I'm going to put my fist through the wall. No, that's somebody that deserves D-Hall right there. That's crap.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. And then we'll go on to the next to last one. I do want to talk about the Hong Kong thing at the end. So in Kankakee, which is actually around where my dad grew up in Illinois, they are questioning the school. The school board is questioning teachers leaving. They're wondering what's going wrong. Resignations approved through June and July have included 17 high school teachers and 1 guidance counselor at just one school. The entire district has 300 teachers. 17 of them quit and left. And they were like, what's wrong? We want to investigate this. Well, guess what they concluded? Better paying jobs outside of high school teaching. Shocker. And this is the funny thing. I bet to investigate that, they probably paid somebody tens of thousands of dollars. Hey, can you investigate why these teachers are leaving? Yes, for a nominal fee. And then they pay them a huge fee, and they go, they're leaving because you're not paying them enough. And then they go, oh, well, we should pay them more, but we don't have any more money because we paid you money to go investigate why they were leaving. It's always the ridiculous things. But they said that they're trying to find out why people are resigning, and they decided that it must be all of the better paying jobs just outside of the county that are a short drive away, and also people leaving the district. So a lot of teachers moving out of state too. There's a great exit from the north and coming to the south. I've noticed a lot of Illinois people are coming to Florida to move. That's why our real estate's going so high too, is that everybody's coming down here. All right, last one. This is a scary one. And I know this is not here, but this is kind of scary. And the reason it's scary is because of where the blame is lying and the actions that are taking place. And people should pay attention to this one. I'm not going to go into the politics behind it because, again, this is not a political podcast, but you should really look it up and read about it. Hong Kong has decided to cut ties with their own teachers union, saying that it incited the protests. As you know, the leadership in Hong Kong has increasingly grown pro-China. Mainland. Ever
since England got rid of
it. When they kind of changed hands, they were guaranteed, hey, it's going to be fine. You're going to enjoy the freedoms that you love, this and that. And slowly, pro-mainland China, bureaucrats and politicians have started to leak into the higher up in the political realm. And this is a terrifying one, but authorities in Hong Kong said they are cutting ties with the city's largest teacher union in the latest attempt to change the education system that Beijing is blaming for fueling social unrest and dissent among students. Because a lot of these students are going out and they are protesting in the streets, and they are apparently, this is an actual quote, the Hong Kong Professional Teachers Union, they said, needs to be eradicated. They called it a malignant tumor on the city, that it was spreading and destroying the 95,000 members, by the way. But apparently they are no longer recognizing the union, ceasing all meetings with its representatives, and no longer hearing any concerns that it raises. And they urged the teachers to launch class boycotts, apparently on the other side. And the site, so they said, this is what they said. They said that teachers had urged students to launch class boycotts and incite students to join violent and unlawful activities during the widespread 2019 protests. I don't think that's the teacher's fault.
No, it's not.
There's social media where people are seeing that life is being taken away, and they're starting to fight back. And the young students have always been. This is not an uncommon thing. Young students have always been very proactive in protecting their rights and wanting change. That's every generation.
Yeah,
the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, going up. I mean, it's literally went from the flower children, the anti-Vietnam War protests, the shift in the 80s, getting away from big corporations, the 90s, grunge, Rage Against the Machine, Fight the Man, kind of, F the police kind of thing they did.
The Austin 316
and
era.
then coming into now, even the young people are still, fighting the corporations, eat the rich mentality that they're having. That's every generation. The young people always do this, and they're attacking the teachers' unions as if they're to blame for it. 95,000 teachers have lost their negotiation rights within Hong Kong, and it's interesting to me, but a lot of these countries, instead of actually making the change, instead of listening to the younger generation that's coming up, instead of handing off the reins in a going, hey, you know what, we're not going to be around for much longer, we need to start looking after the next generation of kids. Instead of doing that, they always destroy the educational foundation to dumb down and try to get a subservient populace that is going to just cave to their ways. That's always the mentality, is undercut their ability to platform. If they don't have the knowledge to stand up for themselves, then they'll listen and take whatever we give them. And this goes for all politics, Democrats, Republicans, all sides do it. There is a concerted effort to hurt the educational foundations of these countries where people are starting to think for themselves and react in a way that they want change, and they go after it every time they go after the educational foundations and try to it's crazy, but you have a gullible populace if you have an uneducated populace.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, China, but there's always going to be somebody ready to stand in front of a tank. It's going to happen eventually. They're going to have a civil war in China. That's the only way this is going to end in China.
I don't know.
Because look at Japan. I mean, look at how far Japan has come.
Yeah, I don't think there's much you can do. I hate to say it. Hong Kong is a beautiful city. They enjoyed a lot of freedoms under the British, but to be perfectly honest with you, unless America actually steps up and says no, and puts a foot down and says no, then it's just it's inevitable. There's too much pressure from the outside. There's too many politics at play. China has too much to risk at letting it be what it is and letting them protest. We hadn't stepped in, and this again, we're going way too political, but China hasn't stepped in on the U.S. hasn't stepped in on China occupying any of the disputed waters, taking over any of the islands, between them and Japan. We're just kind of letting them do whatever they want, and eventually they'll just take it. But I do worry about the teachers unions over there. I don't want to see something like that happen, obviously over here, and teachers being blamed, which we do see teachers being blamed a lot.
One of the greatest things that teachers can do is teach history, and those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it.
So yeah, over on Patreon, we do have a lot of new subscribers. Shout out to Michael, shout out to Kelly, shout out to Donna, shout out to Andrea, shout out to Todd. Thank you all for supporting the podcast. Patreon.com/crime.
For teachers, right here on Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers.
Okay, yeah, sorry, the audio did go out, but we're back. Just letting you know. So the audio did go out online, and I X'd out of the wrong tab. Hopefully we're back, but I do want to say thank you all for supporting the podcast and for being there. We appreciate you, and be sure to check out devoncomedy.com for upcoming tour dates. I got a lot of them coming up, going to Michigan, Visani's in Port Charlotte. I'm coming to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, shows in Atlanta, shows in Watsika, Illinois, just south of Chicago. Greg, what do you got coming up, buddy? The big show, right? With us?
The big show, and then I've got
August 12th in Winter Haven.
Yeah, and then I've got some stuff coming up also in September and August. I'll be in Texas. If there's anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, give me a shout. I'd love to come over, have a beer with you. I'm going to try to maybe jump on a couple of mics while I'm there. I don't know how much time I have. A wedding.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks so much for...
what about... we were on the news.
Just get Charlie ordered.
Yeah, I did. Oh my God.
I wanted to replay that video so bad.
That's so bad.
Your facial expression.
I was stabbed in the leg. No, we were on the news for the giant gator we saw.
Yeah.
On the golf course.
Action 9 or whatever.
Action 8, yeah.
Action 8, yeah. There was a gator on the golf course. I posted the video on my Facebook, but Greg has a better video. So check that out over on his Facebook page. And the
Angry Texan comedian.
We did make the news. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for supporting. And we'll be back next week with another episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. All right. Bye.